Good morning. What's your name?
Lauren.
Pardon?
Lauren Darby.
Okay. And who's here?
My witness you asked me to bring. Well, one of them.
Okay. And
Your Honor, the property manager from Peninsula Place.
all right, fantastic. And this is the final settlement conference. Where are we in regard to this case? Anywhere?
No, Your Honor, we have not been able to get anywhere in terms of resolution.
All right. Let me ask you this. What's your position on this case, ma'am? No,
Me?
you. Yeah.
I don't. This is my first time going to court. I don't know what that means. Like, what's my position?
Well, tell me what's your thoughts. They're seeking termination of your tenancy. Tell me why I shouldn't do that. Let's try it that way.
Okay. One of my roommates have been.
Today's case dives straight into roommate warfare turned legal drama. We've got Lauren, a college student fighting eviction, claiming she's been harassed, framed, and now facing a protective order from her own roommate. On the other side, the property manager representing the landlord, who says enough is enough. But here's the twist. The same roommate accusing Lauren may have sabotaged her dishes with cleaning chemicals. Who's telling the truth? Who's manipulating the system? Let's break down this fiery final settlement conference. And trust me, this one gets real emotional.
Harassing me since I got there based off a situation she had with somebody else last year. And she got one of my other roommates to kind of like do it, but not do it to the harassment. Like, she would tell my roommates, oh, she didn't take out the trash. Or oh, she's throwing a party. She has friends over here. When they have the same amount of friends I have over, but she treats me like I'm a kid, basically. Like,
but this is your roommate.
Yes, this is my roommate. Her rules were when we tried to have an agreement, but she disrespected my rules, so I disregarded her rules when she disregarded the rules too. It was to take before you had company, but she had her friends, a part of her little organization, come over while I was asleep, and it was like over 10 of them, and they were loud. And I didn't say anything. I didn't report it. I didn't have a problem, but she wants me to text her when I have company and I have over less than 10 people. Because in our lease states, you can't have over more than 10 people because that's considered like a gathering or a small gathering. But that was basically her problem. I received threats from my roommate. She put her hands on me.
Yeah, but what does the roommate have to do with the landlord?
Because these are where the complaints are coming from. She was friends with one of the other roommates that were in our apartment. I stayed in D, she stayed in C, and the girl that's filing for me to be evicted, those two, they stayed in B and C. So they were cool. I didn't talk to the one in C, so I don't really know what was told to her. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even know she had a problem. Like, we never had a text to where she said I was too loud. That's another thing we agreed on. Like, if somebody was too loud, we would text in the group chat, say something, or they were knock on the door. Nobody ever talked to me or approached me about anything. So I'm really confused.
You're confused about what?
Their problem, because I wasn't aware. It was never brought to my attention at all that they had a problem or was a problem with anything I was doing.
Is your roommate still there?
She actually just filed for PPO, and I was told by the police officers and an advised lawyer to bring this up in court too. She filed a PPO saying she was scared for her life.
Wait, did she just say her roommate poured Lysol, Pine Sol, Fabuloso, and cinnamon on her dishes? That's not just petty. That's potentially criminal mischief, or even assault via contamination. And yet Lauren's case isn't against the roommate. It's against her landlord. Here's where legal boundaries blur. Landlords aren't directly liable for interpersonal roommate disputes unless they ignored reports or failed to ensure tenant safety. If Lauren truly made multiple reports and was dismissed, that could come back to bite management hard.
But last Tuesday, she poured Lysol, Pine Sol, Fabuloso, and cinnamon all over my dishes.
So.
And I got the bag too. And then, yeah, it's.
Well, hold on a second. Your roommate has filed for a PPO as against you?
And she filed to break her lease, yes, saying that I assaulted her.
Ma'am, just answer my question. She filed for a PPO as to you. Has there been a hearing on that? Have you requested a hearing on that?
I was going to the police station today to ask them how to do that.
I take it, Ms. Kazari, by the look on your face, you were unaware of that.
No, I am aware of the PPO.
Were you?
Yeah, there is a PPO that's been entered in September, I believe. And I'm not aware of, so the other roommate has been temporarily relocated to another unit, but at this.
So you guys have done that?
We've done that temporarily.
Got it.
But there's been continuous issues. I spoke with Miss Darby. There's been continuous issues with other things since the altercation between the two women.
So maybe I need to follow one thing here. If the roommate has been temporarily housed at another unit, how did what you're claiming happen?
What do you mean? She's coming in and out of the house and she still has access to the house. That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't investigate these claims against me from her or the other roommate.
Well, how do you know it's her?
Because she told me. And she wrote a note saying she put that right
there. Who is she?
Her name's Andrene, the roommate. Andrene. She told me she did this. I don't have the letter present, but she did write a note saying you need to properly dispose of your grease. She thought it was grease to her statement, but Fabulosa don't smell like grease to me. Or cinnamon.
This is where the courtroom tension thickens. The property manager admits the roommate was relocated but still had access to the unit. That's a huge red flag. If a restraining or protection order, PO, was active, that access could violate legal terms. So ask yourself, if someone you had a protection order against could still enter your space, would you feel safe? And legally, who's accountable for enforcing that boundary? The landlord or law enforcement? Let's see how the judge sorts this out.
So how many roommates are there?
There's 4. A, B, C, and D. I'm D.
So from the landlord, what are the other roommates saying?
So right now there's 2 roommates. They're still there. It's just Miss Darby and one other roommate. They're complaining. So at this point, plaintiff is looking for a move-out date from Miss Darby. We're willing to do it in a conditional order of dismissal, give her some time, but that's plaintiff's position.
Okay.
I told the police this too. It's in my report. I went to the office or called the office so many times to make complaints too. It's just that the same excuse is, oh, Jane's not here. Jane can't answer the phone. Jane's on lunch. The police officer said that.
Let me ask you one thing.
Okay.
Do you want to move or no?
I'm sorry. I'm emotional, but this is like my only way of school.
Here, we see the emotional toll hit full force. Lauren breaks down explaining this apartment is her only lifeline to stay in school. For many low-income or out-of-state students, losing campus housing isn't just inconvenient, it's life-altering. You can feel the judge balancing compassion with procedure, a classic courtroom crossroad between the letter of the law and the spirit of fairness. What would you do if your education hung by a leash thread like this?
And it's like the claims that are being put against me, I'm not that type of person. I'm like
that's not what the issue is.
I know. I'm saying like the complaint she has going like on me. They're complaining about trash parties. I'm a person that typically stays to myself in my room.
Ma'am, that's not the question I'm asking.
I answered it. I said no. This is my only way. for me to be in school and it's interfering with my school. I'm supposed to be in class right now, but I have to deal with this.
Hey, lady, what did you want to tell me? What?
Oh, I witnessed it. Like I come over.
Where do you reside there or
I
no?
stay on campus somewhere else.
You stay on campus someplace else. You're students at Eastern?
Yes.
Okay. And you stay on campus elsewhere?
Yes.
Okay. And what you would have to tell me is what you've seen happen.
And like stuff she said.
Pardon? And stuff that this other person has said.
Yeah. Well, I don't really understand.
Okay, so have you challenged the PPO? I mean, if it was issued sometime in September, you've had notice of it.
No, I just got served. What was it? Sunday? I just got served Sunday. I think it was because the officer told me like a lot of stuff, like my police report still didn't go through prosecution yet because they changed their systems and it wouldn't be up to November 1st.
Your Honor, just for clarification, it looks like the PPO was entered October 8th.
Okay, so
I'm not sure when it was served.
okay. What year are you in school?
This is my second year, my sophomore year.
Okay. So your freshman year, where did you reside?
I stayed in a dorm hall, but I had a suite mate that broke in my room. That's why I moved to Penn Place. So I could have my own room, my own space, and my own bathroom.
Okay. And I'm presuming that you're going to stay. You're looking to certainly stay somewhere in the area through graduation and 2 more years or whatever, right? Okay. So I mean, the semester's coming down to an end, right? So, and you tell me why it may not be this way, but wouldn't it behoove you to try to locate someplace to move? And here's the reason I'm saying. If we were set for a final settlement conference today, but if I set this for trial, then I certainly will listen to everything. But if it doesn't go your way, right, then what ends up happening is you could potentially end up getting evicted in the middle of finals, whatever they are, because I'd set a relatively quick trial in this matter. And then end up in a circumstance where you have that judgment and then trying to get yourself into someplace else is going to be a problem. You follow what I'm saying? So outside of that, you then have this PPO issue, which, I'm not sure on your exact time frames for, well, if you were just served with it, then you should still have some time in which to file for a hearing on it. But you got that issue. So it's sometimes it's okay to be, at least in your mind, right, but then sometimes you got to put yourself in a good spot. You follow me?
I understand that, but if I'm to move, I don't go to school. Like I would have to drop right now. I don't have like family that stays out here. I don't have the transportation to go with my sister all the way in the city and then come all the way back up here every day for school. That's just not in my, it can't work.
Okay, I hear you.
Mhm.
What I'm indicating is when are finals?
They're the week of like December 14th.
Like every other college student, you have no idea how many finals you have, right?
No.
That's okay. I got one of you at home, so they don't know when your finals are. Not right now. They will later on. How many classes are you taking right now?
6.
Six. So let me ask you this. If you had to move, okay, so we're going to deal with hypotheticals at this point because I'm not ruling anything. But if you had to move, what would be the most convenient time for you to try to do that?
When the semester ends.
Okay. So you say that final start, they start on the 14th or
Well, the 15th. Well, it's the week of the 14th. That's all I'm aware of. It's the week of the 14th.
okay. And all through that week. Right, because then you're going to come down to the 22nd, you're going to be on break at that point. Right. Okay. Curiosity, what are you studying to be when you grow up?
A nurse.
A nurse? Um, what is plaintiff's position from a move out standpoint?
Authority for 30 days.
What's the day before?
Yes.
But not for 40. I mean, so here's the thing. If you got authority for that, if 30 days from now would put her at December 5th, Ms. Gazeri, you've been probably before me enough to know that kids and their education, that's important to me. I'm not going to put her out before the time that she at least gets to finish the semester. She's got 6 classes.
The judge's ruling here is surprisingly empathetic, proposing a conditional dismissal. That means Lauren won't have an eviction on record if she agrees to move out voluntarily by the end of the semester. It's a rare middle ground in housing court, protecting her future rental record while resolving the dispute. Notice how the judge emphasizes education over punishment. That's both strategic and humane. Still, it's bittersweet. Lauren avoids eviction but not displacement.
And that's really where her focus needs to be to finish that and find a place to get herself moved into and figure out how she's going to do next semester.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. So, ma'am, let me ask you this. If I told you, and we do it, so let me explain everything, okay, so that it's clear. That we would do a move out date, I think it's 17, 18, 9 of December 19th. Okay. And we do it in the form of a conditional dismissal. So that it doesn't look like you were evicted. It would just be a dismissal of this case. Got that? So that you apply someplace else, you were evicted. It's a dismissal. All right. That does a couple of things. One, it stops you from having to go through a trial where you're trying to take 6 classes and do whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. So what would happen to my roommates and, well, all my roommates if all these claims are false? And does the other roommate that she actually put her hands on me, and we still have to wait on that case?
Okay, listen, that's not the issue that's before me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's before me right now is is what are your activities? Okay. Now, like I said, if you want to have a trial on it, we can have a trial. I can set it for a trial. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a circumstance that if I set a trial, then you're going to be distracted in terms of a trial while you're trying to finish up your semester. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I keep asking questions or
No, it's
making
okay.
statements, but I get that it's going to affect me at the end, but it's affecting me now, like emotionally,
So
physically.
what do you want me to do?
And I reported it.
What do you want me to do? Because the reality is I don't have to go through this process. What I can do is I can just set a trial.
Mhm.
Everybody's going to show up here. I can just make a ruling. If that ruling goes against you, then what's going to end up happening? And let me just give you a scenario that could potentially happen. If we're at final settlement conference right now, if I set trial for either the 18th of November or December 2nd, and you lose at trial, the eviction date at the latest would be December 12th. December 14th, your exams start. Follow me? I mean, sometimes, young lady, and the thing you're going to have to learn is maybe there are the decision that you may have to make isn't the decision that you want to make, but you may make a decision to put yourself in the safest possible scenario.
That means me giving up school. I can't give up school.
Did I say that? Are you listening to anything I'm saying?
No, I'm telling you my situation. If I go back home, I can't go to school. That's the reason why I came up here, for me to go to school. I can't go to school back home.
Young lady, I didn't say anything about you having to go back home. Did I?
You asked me for,
Here's,
I mean,
okay,
you,
ma'am, stop.
okay.
You need to take your hand off your hip, sit down in that chair. Because part of your problem right now is you're not listening. You've got one direction headed in your head as to something, and you're not listening to anything that I'm saying. And when I say something, you're so worried about these other people and not worried about yourself. Everything that I have said, and I'm going to take a break in a moment so you can spit that gum out. Everything that I've said is an attempt to try to preserve your education and your ability to make it through the semester. You don't seem to want to see that or hear that because all you want to do is be right. Well, you can be right and uneducated all you want because all I'm trying to do is get you through the semester. I'm giving you scenarios that if you choose one option, you could end up in an eviction in the middle of the semester going into finals.
This case reveals the human side of housing law, where paperwork meets personal pain. The judge balanced compassion with caution, ensuring Lauren could finish her semester while protecting the landlord's right to order. The takeaway? In court, listening is as powerful as arguing. Miscommunication and emotion often derail real justice.
And so what good does it do you if all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're in the middle of an eviction and fail 6 classes? You can get rid of that gum. I will come back shortly.